Have you ever seen a moment that makes you stop everything, a moment so powerful that it stays with you forever? What you are about to hear is not just a story, it is a reminder that kindness can come from the most unexpected places, even from the lips of a child. So before we begin, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like these deserve to be shared with the world, stories that can heal hearts and restore hope. It was a cold evening, the kind that bites at your skin and makes people hurry along with their collars turned up. At the bus stop, where the dull streetlight flickered, sat a young woman named Anna. She was only 22, but life had already weighed her down with burdens too heavy for her fragile shoulders. She had lost her parents young, had no siblings, and after losing her low-paying job at a small cafe, she could no longer afford rent. Her few belongings were stuffed in a worn backpack, and her coat, though thin, was the only shield she had against the night air. Anna sat quietly, avoiding the eyes of strangers who passed her by without a glance, each one absorbed in their own world. She wasn't bitter, she understood. Everyone had struggles, everyone was fighting battles unseen. Still, in her heart, she ached for someone to care, for a safe place to rest, and for the warmth of love she had not felt in years. As she sat with her arms wrapped tightly around herself, a small voice broke through the silence. It was so soft at first she thought she had imagined it. But then it came again, clear and sincere, "You need a home, and I need a mommy." Anna blinked in shock and turned. Standing beside her was a little girl, no older than 6, holding a worn teddy bear and looking up at her with wide, innocent eyes. Her brown hair was tied in 2 uneven braids, and her cheeks were rosy from the cold. Anna's heart skipped. She hadn't expected anyone to notice her, much less a child. The little girl repeated the words as though she had been waiting to say them her whole life. She climbed onto the bench beside Anna, tucked her teddy bear under her chin, and leaned against her arm as though she had already decided this woman was hers. Anna felt a lump in her throat. She had no home, no job, no future she could see, and yet this child was offering her something she thought she had lost forever, a place to belong. "What's your name?" Anna whispered softly. The little girl smiled and said, "Grace." Anna's eyes stung with tears. The name fit her perfectly, gentle and full of life. Grace explained in her sweet, stumbling words that she had wandered a few steps away from her grandmother at the bus stop, and when she saw Anna sitting all alone, something inside her heart told her this was the person she had been looking for. She said she missed having a mommy, and when she saw Anna's face, she just knew. Anna's chest tightened. She couldn't understand why a child she had never met would feel this way, but as she listened, she realized Grace's words were not only about herself. They were about both of them. Grace needed a mother's love, and Anna, though she had nothing, carried a heart full of love that had been waiting for someone to receive it. The two of them sat together as though they had known each other forever, their hands touching, their warmth shared. For the first time in weeks, Anna didn't feel invisible. She felt human. She felt wanted. A few minutes later, Grace's grandmother came rushing back, her face pale with worry until she saw Grace sitting safely beside Anna. The older woman sighed in relief and scolded Grace gently, then turned her gaze on Anna. She noticed the young woman's worn clothes, her tired eyes, and the quiet sadness that lingered around her. Instead of turning away, she asked softly if Anna was all right. Anna hesitated, embarrassed to admit she had nowhere to go. Before she could answer, Grace interrupted brightly, "Grandma, she needs a home, and I need a mommy. Can she come with us?" The grandmother looked at Grace in shock, then at Anna. For a long moment, her eyes softened with a kindness Anna had not seen in years. She thanked Anna for watching over Grace and asked her to walk with them until the bus arrived. Anna agreed, though her heart felt heavy with both longing and fear. That small walk to the bus was the beginning of something Anna never expected. The grandmother, whose name was Margaret, spoke gently with her, asking about her life, her struggles, and what had led her here. Anna, though ashamed, answered honestly, and to her surprise, Margaret did not judge. Instead, she listened, and in her eyes there was no pity, only compassion. When the bus arrived, Margaret offered Anna a seat beside them. Grace beamed happily, clutching Anna's hand the whole ride. By the time they reached their stop, Margaret had made a decision. She invited Anna to stay with them for the night, just so she would not have to sleep in the cold. Anna hesitated, afraid of imposing, but Grace's pleading eyes and Margaret's sincere kindness left her no choice but to accept. That night, for the first time in months, Anna slept in a warm bed. It wasn't hers, but it felt like heaven. She woke to the smell of breakfast, to the sound of Grace's laughter, and to the gentle kindness of Margaret treating her not as a burden, but as a guest. Days turned into weeks, and as Anna helped with little things around the house, reading bedtime stories to Grace, washing dishes, and keeping company with Margaret, she began to feel something she had long thought impossible. She began to feel like family. Margaret, too, saw in Anna the goodness of a young woman who only needed a chance, and Grace loved her unconditionally from the start. In time, Margaret encouraged Anna to find her footing again, helping her search for work, guiding her as though she were her own daughter. Anna, with determination and the newfound strength of belonging, soon found a job and began to save. She no longer felt like a lost soul drifting without purpose. She had a home. She had people who cared. And most of all, she had a little girl who had chosen her, with 6 simple words that changed her life forever: "You need a home, and I need a mommy." From that day forward, Anna promised herself that she would never again give up, not when she had someone who believed in her so deeply. She became the mother Grace longed for, and in return, Grace gave her the love she had been missing all her life. Margaret, wise and kind, watched as the bond between them grew stronger, knowing that sometimes fate works in mysterious ways. Sometimes, the family we need finds us when we least expect it, in the most ordinary of places, like a bus stop on a cold night. So remember, kindness has the power to change lives. A small voice, a simple gesture, or a single act of love can turn despair into hope, loneliness into belonging, and strangers into family. If this story touched your heart today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because more stories of love and kindness are waiting to remind you that no matter how dark the night, there is always a light, and sometimes that light shines through the eyes of a child.